is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy freaking Friday. It is your boy AC back at it with another Hawks Fan TV video. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. I'm feeling a lot better than I was last night. I was all up in my feelings and I had too many emotions running through me to really provide a unbiased breakdown of the game. Last night's video that I posted was more so of a rant. Today's video is going to be focused on actual in-game, in-depth analysis of the team, of the players. And as much as it pains me to say this, I'm going to give out some props to the Bucks players. They really showed up and showed out last night, and they were the reason why their players just played a lot better. Okay, but yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good day. All you Hawks fans out there, it's going to be okay. Take a deep breath. Last I checked, the team that has 4 wins advances to the finals, and neither team has 4 wins so far. We're still very much in this series. We have a big game tomorrow night at home in State Farm Arena, and if we tie this thing 3-3, which I think we will, I really like our chances going into Game 7. But yeah, man, it has been raining all morning in the city of Atlanta, all morning so far, and that's probably symbolic of last night's performance. So we as a state of Georgia are just mourning and yeah, we're grieving the loss last night. But it's okay. A new day is ahead of us. We have a brand new game tomorrow night, and hopefully our fortunes change. But man, last night's game was a very disappointing performance from our team, but it was equally as impressive for the Bucks side. Okay, so we're gonna get into it here, and last night's game. Here's what happened. Really, our guys came out flat. Okay, there was no intensity, no sense of urgency. That whole first quarter. Okay, very lackadaisical. We couldn't get a rebound to save our lives. Okay. I think it was like at the 6th minute mark until one of the Hawks players finally got a rebound. I was losing my mind last night watching this unfold. The one rebound that we did get in the first like 3 minutes of the game, it was a foul on us, a loose ball foul, so they actually got the possession back. The Bucks did. So yeah, we didn't actually secure our first rebound till probably like 5 minutes into the game. It was absurd. I've never seen anything like that. And shout out to the Bucks players for playing with that intensity, and obviously bouncing back from their Game 4 performance. I expected them to come out with a lot more intensity. They're playing in their home court. They obviously don't want to play the way they did in Atlanta in front of their home fans. So you knew that the Bucks were hungry to come out after only scoring 88 points in Game 4. Also, the big question mark was who is going to start in front of Giannis, okay? The Giannis injury, I thought, and I went on record saying that Pat Connaughton was most likely going to get the nod. He's more of that kind of traditional 3 kind of wing player. Bobby Portis is pretty much a 4/5, okay? So the fact that Coach Bud started Bobby Portis posed a lot of problems for us. I don't think our guys and Coach McMillan was preparing to see a Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, and kind of Chris Middleton front court, right? But obviously the length and their size was a big factor into not being able to secure all those early first quarter rebounds, and that kind of trickled down into the whole rest of the game. And honestly, it set the tone for the whole game. Like, yeah, sure, we went down big. At one point, we were down 20 points in the first half. We were able to manage to bring it down to single digits going into halftime, though. But that whole kind of first quarter sequence really set the tone and put our guys in a big hole. Now, as much as I want to blame the questionable officiating, the lack of effort from the Hawks, all those things considered, I can't discredit the Bucks. The Bucks played a masterful game, and Coach Bud, for his knock that he doesn't make any in-game adjustments, he outcoached McMillan in this game, particularly in Game 5. We weren't preparing to see this lineup right here of Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton. Their length and size was a huge problem for us. The good news for the Hawks, though, is we've seen what they came out with last night, and now we can properly prepare and game plan against that in Game 6. And I promise you, we will make adjustments. Our boys will make the adjustments necessary. And this team has never given up all season long, especially in this playoffs. And I expect that to be the trend here going into Game 6. Because, like I said, we win, take care of business on home court tomorrow. I really, really like our chances going to a Game 7 in Milwaukee, okay? Now, obviously, one big factor for the Bucks' success was Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez played literally the best game of his career in the postseason. 33 points on very, very high efficiency. Only missed 4 shots the entire night, as you can see. And he took 18. He was basically second on the team in shot attempts, right? 18 shot attempts for Brook Lopez, made 14 of them. Yeah, that's really efficient. And the reason for that was, and a lot of NBA fans, okay, they like to use what we call, math, NBA math, right? Where you add a good player or you subtract the best player on the opposing team. That's automatically going to mean that their team is going to perform worse, which is usually the case in most cases. However, there are some cases where if you take, just because in theory that you add a really good player to a particular team, they're not automatically going to get better. And conversely, just because you take off the best player on a team, that doesn't mean they're just going to play worse. A good example of that is the Boston Celtics team when they went on a crazy playoff run with like Terry Rozier starting as their point guard. Then a year later, they bring in Kyrie Irving, who on paper, Kyrie Irving is actually, in my opinion, a lot better than Terry Rozier, obviously, right? And so people would assume, wow, we have Kyrie Irving. The Celtics are just going to be a much better team than they were last year, which they should have been on paper. But the chemistry and the mesh of those players it didn't mesh well, okay? And they actually did worse the following year. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to say that the Bucks are a better team without Giannis on the court. However, there are certain players that can elevate their performance with Giannis's absence, and that is a prime example in Brook Lopez's case. Brook Lopez is a traditional big. He is the biggest person on the court at all times usually, unless you're going against like Joel Embiid or Jokic. But Brook Lopez is a legitimate 7-foot center. Okay, he's a big body. They typically like to use him as a stretch 5 because Giannis clogs up the paint. And they obviously can't have Brook Lopez operating in the lane with Giannis on the court, right? Because that's just going to make Giannis, it's just going to cause more problems. He needs a clear path, a clear lane, and that spacing on the floor for Giannis to really thrive in attacking the basket. With Giannis out, Brook Lopez was able to actually play more of his traditional role. Yes, he can shoot the 3, but obviously he's way more efficient and just a better overall player operating within 5 to 10 feet of the basket. And that was on full display last night. Brook Lopez just ate up everything inside. There was no answer for him. Clint Capella and John Collins were nowhere to be found defending Brook Lopez. And he was just eating everything up, catching alley-oops, getting putbacks, eating up the glass. His little behind the back push shot floater was money all night. And he's a good player. Like he's a solid player. He was a top 10 draft pick if I remember correctly. So it's not like this is just some scrub. Like Brook Lopez is an established veteran player, and he showed you what he can do given his usage rate going up. So obviously with Giannis on the court, is Brook Lopez going to shoot 18 times in a game? Probably not. Probably not the case. But because Giannis was out, everyone else's player usage went up, and that boded well for the Bucks here, especially in Brook Lopez's case. So, yeah, I think the Hawks took this game for granted, just like what the Bucks did in Game 4. Oh, no Trae Young, this is going to be an easy victory. And you saw the importance of role players and those secondary guys all elevating their game in Trae's absence, and that's exactly the case for the Bucks and what they did in the absence of Giannis. Everyone else elevated their performance. Their usage rate went up, increased, and they all played really well. So Obviously, this is atypical. This is kind of an anomaly. 33 points and 22 points were both career highs for Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez. I don't think it's a coincidence that that happened with Giannis out, considering Bobby Portis probably is going to get 20 shots a game. Neither is Brook Lopez. But yeah, I think in this series particularly, this is a highlight of just how good NBA players are, even if you're a role player, right? At the end of the day, these guys are NBA caliber players. There's only like 200 of them in the world, so obviously they're not scrubs. The Bucks took the Hawks for granted in Game Four, and you know the results showed which team came out to play and which didn't, and that's exactly what happened in Game Five. Only it was in the Bucks' favor this time. So now we're even up. You know, we got a sneaky win without Trey in Game Four. We showed the Bucks what we can do. We saw what the Bucks can do without Giannis. So this is exactly the type of kind of punch in the mouth that I think that the Hawks needed. And honestly, at this point, it's almost foolish to say that we took the Bucks for granted because you know they're in this position for a reason. But I think that's a little bit of why we came out so flat. And yeah, they were a little shell shocked, and the preparation probably was a little bit different, given the fact that they were most likely under the assumption that Pat Connaughton was going to start, just like I was. But I didn't rule out Bobby Portis. I just personally didn't think that they were going to roll out basically four power forwards and centers in the game. So that was a big thing. Bobby Portis played a really great game. 22 points, again, career high. And most of his points just came from hustle plays. Like he clearly wanted it more, and that's his role. He's the Energizer Bunny. He's called Crazy Eyes, obviously, given his big eyeballs. I don't even think he has eyelids, to be honest. But that's his role. Get the crowd into it, make those hustle plays, bring the energy up. And he's also a good shooter. We saw that last night. He only made 1 3, but he was able to make a lot of perimeter shots and just get those hustle plays. And without Giannis, and I called this out, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, will they be able to step up without Giannis? And they definitely answered the bell. There was a lot of national criticism, right, of other ESPN writers and media saying, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, they're like night and day, right? Some days they're really good, some days they're really bad, and there's no kind of even consistency between them two. But last night they played a hell of a game. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, obviously 45 and 42 minutes apiece. They basically played the whole game, okay? Which is I'm not surprised by that at all, but that's a lot of minutes, okay? Like 45 minutes. Chris Middleton only sat out for 3 minutes the entire game. We'll see what that does to his body tomorrow night. But they played fantastic. They showed up. Drew Holiday was just bullying our players in the paint early in the first quarter. He took Bogey, just backed him down. Easy bucket, did it to Kevin Huerter a couple times. And Drew Holiday, he's a big guard. He's a big guard, and he's an absolute dog on the defensive end, and he made life a living hell for Lou Williams last night. Lou obviously couldn't have that duplicate game that he did in Game 4. And Drew Holiday took a mental note of that and said, I'm not letting Lou Williams go off like last game. And, major shout out to Drew Holiday. He played a full game on both ends of the court. We knew what he could do on defense, right? We knew what he was capable of on the defensive end. Touted as probably the best, guard defender in the NBA, and he proved that last night. And he got things done on the offensive side too. And Chris Middleton, again, great game. I think, Cam Reddish probably should have gotten the primary assignment. We needed to play Cam more. Lou Williams should not have at least started in the second half. And I think when he was off early, he had a lot of careless turnovers and just wasn't doing anything with the ball. Granted, he picked up his performance in the second half, particularly in that third quarter. He scored a couple of nice buckets there, but overall, he wasn't looking good, especially to start off the game, and that's where Nate McMillan needs to take him out and try something new. Chris Dunn, obviously, I think at this point he might be a little bit unplayable. Obviously, we know what his calling card is, and that's defense, right? Like, the Bucks have Drew Holiday to be that dog on the perimeter, for their team, and we have that in Chris Dunn. However, if Chris Dunn's not playing at an absolute elite level at all times he's on the court, he's too much of a liability. He's too much of a liability because you get absolutely nothing from him on the offensive end. And I'm surprised that Coach McMillan, uh, you know, even experimented that because it didn't work in Game 4. Now we had other players really step up their performance to kind of hide Chris Dunn, but in the grand scheme of things, he only played 8 minutes, which isn't a whole lot, but those 8 minutes were pretty crucial. And yeah, he just can't do anything on the offensive end. So I really hope Trae Young plays tomorrow night, and this is literally win or go home. Like this is the playoffs for the Atlanta Hawks. If they lose, we're done. And you know, from all the research I've done with bone bruises and things like that, um, like it's I don't know, like it's all about pain tolerance. It's all about pain tolerance and whether or not he feels comfortable. I know Trey's a dog. I know he is one of the toughest players on the team. So you better believe, like, if he thinks he can play, he will do it. So this tends me to believe that this injury might be a little bit more serious than a typical bone bruise. But yeah, but hopefully he's back. I'm just rerunning the highlights right now. As you can see, Brook Lopez was just getting everything and everything. Look at that, another offensive rebound right there. Just bullies bogey down low, bucket. You know, it's just, and he was doing that all game. Bogey on Drew Holiday. They were running this high kind of like 1-4 pick and roll all game. We couldn't stop it, and then Drew would just beat his man every single time, and it would result into easy kind of layups like this, alley oops. Brook Lopez, yeah, that was the type of game Brook Lopez had. Okay, we got Chris Dunn, our best defender. He gets beat one on one. Drew Holiday sucks in the defense again, pulls in the D. Everyone collapses, which results in another wide open dunk for Brook Lopez. Again, Drew Holiday just bullying Kevin Huerter, and then again, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, and this is just unacceptable. We can't have Drew Holiday looking like, a prime Magic Johnson on the court. There needs to be some resistance. And as you can see, this whole first half is just Brook Lopez highlights. Okay, um, like, this is the type of game he's having. Um, it was absurd. I specifically clicked on just Brook Lopez highlights just to show you guys the type of player he is and what he can do when it's a open lane and Giannis isn't clogging up the paint. Like, he doesn't have these types of performances because he's never given the opportunity because Giannis is always on the court with him at the same time. But when there's room to operate and he's really the only big man that has to go down low, he's gonna eat. And I'm worried. I'm worried for tomorrow night because I don't know, given Clint Capella's eye condition, his injury that he had, like, it's a tough matchup for him. He had Julius Randle in game one, the round one, then Joel Embiid, and now he had to go against Giannis. Now Brook Lopez, like, Brook Lopez was just getting everything he wanted. There was no resistance, no effort. Yeah, like, offensive rebound, putback, like, I can't even watch this anymore because I'm getting PTSD at this point. But that's just my 2 cents. Okay. Not a super long video. I just needed to highlight and give a shout out to the Bucks because they played one hell of a game. I mean, their four starters combined for almost 100 points. Four players on their team almost combined for 100 points. Their bench was non-existent. Our bench outscored them. What was it? Our bench outscored them. Quick math, like 30-12. Okay, we more than doubled their bench output. But that's the starters. That was the big difference. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, and Bobby Portis they had a field day. It was almost like shooting practice for them, and we can't have that tomorrow night. But yeah, here's to a better game Game 6, I have all the confidence in the world that our boys are going to come out ready to play. I don't think that Brook Lopez is going to have another 33-point performance. He's gonna get his. He's gonna do well, but 33 points is something that we're not going to allow. But he is capable. So, moral of the story: doesn't matter who's in, doesn't matter who's out. These are all NBA caliber players. These are established players, and we can't take any moment for granted. And we have to come out, show up, and show out in Game 6. Like I said, if we take it back to Game 7 in Milwaukee, I'm assuming Trae Young's going to at least play Game 7. I don't think he's going to play Game 6. I really don't. Like, in my heart of hearts, as much as I want to, I don't think he's going to play. But we'll see. I wouldn't be that shocked if he did, but I don't think he is. So that's it for today's video, guys. I'll come out with another video tomorrow for a pregame video. I'll probably also do a live stream as well. So hope to see you guys there. If you like this video today, give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And if you love the Hawks and you love Trae Young and everyone else that's a part of this team, please subscribe to the channel. I talk all things Hawks 24/7, 365. So appreciate you guys watching the video, and have a great rest of your day. I will see you all in Game 6 tomorrow night. See ya.